I've been thinking a lot lately, as I usually do. As I'm walking out here, I'm thinking about greed. Why am I thinking about this? Because ever since I've been looking into philosophy in my spare time, I've come to learn something. That materialism doesn't do us any favors. If anything, materialism only ruins our lives. I am anti-materialist. Although, not gonna lie, some game consoles look enticing. And Lego's really cool to get as well. No, I'm talking about the philosophy of materialism. It self-destructs. What is materialism? Materialism is a worldview in which people are encouraged to find pleasure in physical things. Specifically physical things that give them pleasure, like fashion, like makeup, or money, or riches, possessions, phones, etc., etc. And when materialism is taken to an extreme, that's where the problems begin to arise. Materialism says that the material is all there is, and we must find absolute maximum pleasure in materialism. It's like they're worshipping material things as idols, like gods of their own fabrication, like false gods that they fabricated. So, with this philosophy in mind, you'd have to be probably a rich celebrity to get the most advantage over materialism. And if taken to its logical conclusion, will lead to absolute selfishness. Even if a materialist celebrity were to say, imagine a world where there's no possessions and everyone can live in peace. Well, it's kind of ironic that they would say no possessions, yet they're living in a position of privilege where they have all the possessions at hand. No possessions? Okay, get rid of all your money. Give away all your riches. That's what Jesus said to a rich man. But ultimately, that's not the point I was trying to raise in the first place. What makes materialism shatter apart is the sheer emptiness of it. Materialism is just ultimately far too shallow to logically endorse, because you're concentrating so much on this life's material things that you completely overlook that once you claim the ecstasy of that material thing, what then? You've seen the ecstasy as an end, but not a means to an end. It is so cringeworthy how so many people are thinking in the short term to get ecstasy, but they're not thinking in the long term for anything virtuous or meaningful. Because materialism ultimately refutes itself, like many a philosophy does. There's one major problem that lots of philosophies face: death and decay. All the material things, all of it, it's gonna wither and die. That's a fact. All these shopping places, McDonald's, which has a ridiculously long queue, these clothes, my physical body, that's all gonna rot away someday. Surely, if we want to find anything virtuous and meaningful, we have to look beyond the material. Nicky Gumbel perfectly described it in the Alpha course in regards to the meaning of life. He described it like, finally I've graduated from high school, but there's this niggly emptiness inside. Oh, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. I'll get a college degree and succeed. Okay, I've done it. But what now? Oh, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. Oh, how about I get a girlfriend and marry her? Great. Okay, but the relationship's not quite as ecstatic as it used to be. Oh, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. We'll have fun together. Oh, the fun's over. Oh, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than this. I'll give her things. Oh, but the material things, the ecstasy of it's gone now. Oh, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. I'll get a successful job. Oh, there's got to be more. And with this kind of mindset, people just love to consume things like pigs. In fact, materialism has often been critiqued in popular culture. It can be as simple as critiquing greed from rich tyrants, but also more directly and in nuanced ways, like with Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away. In the movie, the vast majority of characters are so dedicated to claiming gold and success that they gradually lose their identity, leaving particular characters hungry for anything meaningful and wholesome, like genuine love. We get so caught up in trying to claim this and that we lose ourselves, our real selves. As a matter of fact, this whole thing about materialism can also perfectly describe the modern day problem with sex. I think it was before the end of World War II. Sex was restricted to marriages to the extent, and love was stable. Then the sexual revolution came, and ironically in the long term it's led to a high increase of divorce rates, diseases and broken hearts. But why all this despair over something so pleasurable, you may ask? It's the same problem with materialism. People are seeing sex as an end, but not a means to an end. This is why a lot of casual sex is ironically selfish. The people aren't really focused on sharing love with their partners. They want to make love to themselves. They're not in it for the well-being of their partner, they're in it for the pleasure of themselves. And once the ecstasy is over, well then, what then? All you've got is a shaky relationship with somebody you barely know. And depending on the circumstance, even some family drama. And then, the need to find the ecstasy again. So you find the same partner, or a different partner for a different kind of ecstasy, or another partner for another ecstasy. And so you keep trying to find this ecstasy only to get addicted into it. And you do it again and again and again, but it's never satisfying. Oh, but you've got to find the satisfaction, so you do it again and again, and before you know it, you're lost in the addiction. And you lose your identity. And this kind of selfish love is so deceptive because it feels so ecstatic. But it leaves you thirsting for that same ecstasy again. How do I know this? Because I've tried it. I do not endorse it. There is a cure, however, and it involves seeing all those bad things I described, see them as a means to an end, and not an end in itself. Going back on the issue of sex, in order to make sex really fulfilling, you need to do it within a marriage, a godly marriage, where not only do you get the ecstasy of sex, but then you get the intimacy of being close to your partner. I've heard that the best part about marriage is the intimacy of being with the one you love. It's not about the ecstasy of sex in that context. It's about being with each other. And now going back to materialism. In the first world, it doesn't do much harm to go shopping for this and that to get what you need. But if your whole life depends on these things, then you are in serious need to find something more wholesome. Because the material is going to fall. What are you left with? All that will remain is the immaterial. The words we share, the way we treat each other, our real character, our souls, our thoughts. That is what's going to be eternal, and that is what life is worth living for, my friends. So tell me, are you obsessed with the material things that's ultimately going to shatter apart?